আপনারা দেখছেন ILFL Soccer Night।
Welcome back. It's part two of the ILFL Soccer Night show and time for us to turn Veterans League. Like I said, it's cold out there on a Thursday night, but the football's still plenty hot. Last Thursday was some ridiculous weather that we had in some parts of that evening, but the football was still played, and one of those games that we're going to show highlights of are St Catherine's Vets against Abahani. Now, I get the feeling that here on this show we've given St Catherine's Vets the kiss of death. You know, when you back somebody and almost that can be like the rotten charm around their neck. They're struggling to get wins in this division. But maybe they were going to get it against Abahani, who, after last season's heroics, are also seen to be struggling to find their feet in the Vets League this time around. What was going to happen between these two teams? Both clubs look desperate for 3 points. We've got highlights of that game from last Thursday. It's St Catherine Vets versus the Abahani Vets. Run the BT. game, a tough game, as they all seem to have been in the Premier Division last Thursday. But Aberhane did it, winning it by 1 goal. In fact, let's take a look at all of the 3 games that took place in the Premier Division last Thursday. In fact, 1 goal difference was all that it needed. Bromley Legends beat Sire by 1-0 as well. And the Tower Hamlets Vets beat London Tigers by 2-1. That's always an interesting thing to do, to make London Tigers unhappy. Let's see what happens to them come towards the end of the season. The Premier Division table looks like this. It's still very early days, but it's nice to keep it nice and tight and close. Beaumont, what a contrast to last season. 3 games, 3 wins, no goals conceded, 9 points. It's looking good while it lasts, Beaumont, because Tigers, Bromley and Aberhane are right behind you. And let's not discount Tower Hamlets and St Catherine's, all to play for in that division. But now we're going to move to the First Division. And let's have a look at what's happening there. With Stepney not playing, it was about everybody jockeying for places right behind them. And Weavers beat Riverside Vets by 3-0. Tower Hamlets Vets, the B team, beat Mostyn by 4-1. I think Mostyn be kicking themselves a little bit after that game. And the Bondu Vets, impressive, beating Redbridge Vets by 9-0. So what is going on in the First Division? We heard a lot about Stepney over the last few weeks, in fact over the last few months, talking about the Stepney side coming in. But what about the teams behind them? Like I said, we've got new teams coming in all the time. Earlier in the season, we had Riverside, who play in the Winter League, come in and talk about themselves as a new team. We now have the Riverside Vets on the show, and I've got Nick and Mumin, good evening guys, who've come in to talk about their exploits in the ILFL and Shanali Otif Veterans League. Mumin, tell us about Riverside, because as we were talking about just recently, it's a little bit different to the side that plays in the Winter League.
That's right. It's probably worthwhile clarifying who we are versus the team that is already in the Winter League. We've been playing together for a number of years, actually over 10 years, and we've only decided to brand the team maybe 2011, 2012 season as Riverside. We used to play in Millwall Park, close to the river, hence Riverside. So we started back then. We played the odd team in Tower Hamlets here and there. We've not joined an organised league, and this is the first year when we've joined an organised league. Hence, I think we have another team which has a similar name. Almost the same name.
That's right.
The only difference probably between us and them at the moment is that they're a much younger outfit than we are. We are the veterans team, and we're a mix of a lot of players who have played for other teams historically, and some who haven't actually played football in a league before.
So it's more of a social community event,
exactly
isn't it?
Right, yeah. So that's how we really started, as a kind of a club for those who are leaving squads that previously they played in, and those who've never really played before. And that's what we used to do on a Saturday, and we still do that. But we decided to extend the brand a little bit more and start with the Vets League, as we can have enough players to play in that, and then see how we go from there.
And Nick, how is it going?
Well, I think it's been a bit of a step up for all of us. I think you had Tarek from Stepney in a few weeks ago, and of course this Stepney again are a new team. But I think the big difference between Riverside and Stepney is that the Stepney boys have been playing together for a lot of years, so they know what the competition is like. They play with not only amongst themselves as a team, but also know some of the other teams as well. And I think, as Mamoun says, Riverside, we're new to this. We've not played an organised league before, and it's very much about the social side of the game, which is fantastic. But we just wanted to take it a bit further than that. We've started with 3 draws. I think that was really good. But as you've just revealed there, David, the 3-0 reverse against Weavers, I think was a bit of a wake-up call, And I think that for many of us, I think what we're looking at here is a bit of a learning process. We're looking to play in the Summer League as well, and hopefully, by that time we'll be much more up to the pace and be fitting in with the other teams around us.
It is only 1 defeat in 4 games though, and like I've said earlier in the commentary, Stepney, there was a lot of hype around Stepney because, like I said, they played together before. They've pretty much grown up as champions, winning here, getting used to winning whatever. So we've put them out there as the favourites, but it's also played for right behind them.
I think we would take, we started with 3 draws, and we would have taken that any day of the week as a starting, and that was a great start from us. I think coming into the 4th game, it was either going to go as a win or a loss, because we were very close with Tower Hamlets B. I think in reality, in our minds, we should have probably won that. It was a 2-2 draw. We hit the post twice, missed a hatful of chances. And you can't afford to do that at this, especially with some of the...
It's fast and furious.
Yeah, it is, exactly. But I think, having said that, I agree with Nick, actually, in terms of us developing. I think we are going to get a loss at some point. It's a question of how we react to this loss. I think the main thing for us is discipline. I think when you haven't played as a unit together in a league, you sometimes forget the word discipline and keeping your shape. And even if you're tired, running back. I think that's the bit that we were missing on when we played Weavers. And I think if we had that discipline, I think we could have held out a little bit better than we did. But that's okay. I think we'll learn and we'll do better. And we're actually genuinely looking forward to playing Stepney, because I think, as you say, they're very well organised. They've come up the ranks. It'd be good to see after a loss, because our next game would be them, see how we react to that. It's a big game for us, I think.
Excellent. I like what you're saying. Let's have a look at the First Division table with the Vets. Like I said, it's with the Premier Division, it's early days, as it is with the First Division. So Stepney there, 3 wins, no defeats. But unlike Beaumont in the Prem, they've actually conceded a goal. So there is a chink in the armour. And everybody else behind them, Bondu in second place with 7, Weaver 6. It's, it's early days and things can still happen. How's that? Talking about, again, we spoke to Nanu earlier about the new teams in the league. We talked about new teams coming in with the Vets League. And we've always gone on this show about how competitive the Vets League is. The First Division is no different.
No, absolutely, it's not. As just Nick was touching on, what we're seeing with all the new teams that are coming in are those that have just turned 35, with a few that are 36, and they've now formed themselves a team. And that's the reason why our quality has become so high, even in the First Division, because it is those that are just hitting the veterans' age. And I think it was a shell shock for Riverside, because I'll double check with Mr. Statman here, but Riverside had the smallest registered squad. I think they only have 11 players registered or 12 players registered, whereas all the others are hitting 18, 19, 20. So it's a good mix, and I think what that has done is raise the bar for the likes of Riverside, one of the few teams that have come in fresh and never really touched on the ILFL. These guys are completely new to the ILFL, so it's an immediate bar there for them that they've got to raise their game if they want to stay in there. And, thankfully, they're not bottom. I'm sure Nanu will touch on his beloved Redbridge sitting there, but...
Do you know what? I'll leave Nanu and Redbridge to the last segment of the show to compose himself before he comes back with something meaningful about what's going on there, because we do need to take a break. But like I said, in the third section of the show, we'll touch on the rest of the games in the Vets League, all your games coming up this Sunday, and some more information that we need to give you on ILFL events. So stick around, we'll be back after this short break.
আপনারা দেখছেন ILFL Soccer Night।